Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. The stock market yesterday got a little bit of a fall, then towards the middle to the end of the day, it had a little bit more of a float. Today, in the pre-market, it looked like we were going to catch a nice bid. Oracle was up on the day. It did decide to drop. Tesla yesterday also decided it wanted to rip to the all-time highs and pierce that level. And so I'm going to have a shortable level for you guys going into the morning session. Oracle and as well as AVGO are kind of down towards the midline. So I'm going to show you what I'm seeing in those charts as well. So a couple of different swing trades, long trades, and we'll show you what we have going on in the charts. All right, let's go over SMH first, if we can get this chart to work. Okay, here we go. SMH had this nice fall yesterday. I was looking at a long level at $340.01. It never got down there. Then it got a nice bid. Now that we've gotten this nice fall from this wide range red bar candle, if the SMH decides it wants to head higher today, it's going to go up to around $341.01. And this is where I'm looking to short this. You're going to have some resistance ahead of that at $358.19. Excuse me. It's a little bit too close for me to institute a short on this. However, I am still eyeing this 340 and then ultimately this gap fill at $370. Why does it say 340? This is actually, this is actually 366.99. Here we go. We'll update that. $366.99 is that shortable level, not $340. This is the $340 level. Oracle is another stock that we've been eyeing last couple of days. Right now, for those of you who are ultra aggressive, you still have this pivot top on ORCL at $181.52. If you're aggressive, this is your first position for a day trade, not necessarily a swing trade quite yet. Day trade level, though, $181.52, still because this major pivot in the charts is holding that support. If it does break below there, I'm looking to go long on a day trade at $176.38. This is a little bit more of a conservative level, knowing that I've got this gap fill at $171.14. I would add every $2 to $3 lower or $2 lower on ORCL if it does decide to break through this $176.38. So today is Wednesday, Whipsaw Wednesday. The stock market can really whip either to the upside or downside. I'm going to stay a little bit more cautious because options X is Friday. So that's when a lot of options expire. And I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. Sometimes the institutions can play market games, bidding the price up when you expect it to go down, bidding it down, or continue to flush it out when you expect to bounce on key technical levels, which is why 176.38 is my level for ORCL. Here we go on AVGO. AVGO did have this nice support level. I had mentioned yesterday or day before yesterday, this gap fill in the charts at $339.94 was going to be a key support level. It did flush that level, got almost to my first long level for yesterday's session at $331.80. It decided it wanted to get a bounce. Now that it's recaptured this gap, AVGO has the potential to move quite a bit higher. Your first shortable level would be around $351.80. Basically, it's a retrace of this broken trend line. If we can recapture this, I think AVGO actually has another leg to the upside. If that doesn't happen, though, I still like this long level at $331.80 with additional support at $324.63. And then ultimately, you've got this major pivot top on the chart for AVGO at $316.75. I'm not necessarily looking to go short on this, but some of you are more aggressive than I am. So 352.88 would be your shortable level on AVGO. All right, now let's go ahead and go into Tesla. Tesla did shoot up to all-time highs yesterday. It was towards the later part of the day. I said I had a shortable level at $488.33. If the price action wanted to get there in the morning session, it actually waited until the afternoon session and didn't hit there until about 350. At that point, it was off of the table. I was no longer interested. Now I have a shortable level at the psychological whole round number of $500, knowing that there is a potential for it to go up to 525. Let me go ahead and switch to that chart of Tesla for you. I have this parallel channel that we've been monitoring for some time. I know, notice this midline of this parallel channel has either been support and or resistance when it gets there. Now that it's above this resistance level, now it's going to be support. $500.58 is that first shortable level. This is more of an aggressive level, knowing that it just recaptured this double top at $488.33. My shortable level today, though, is $525.07. For Tesla, sometimes Tesla can move 7 to 10% in a day, and that would make bring it up from the closing price up almost 7 or over 7%. Again, 525 is for me the max upside. Not only is this a day trade shortable level because of the max extension, it is also a swing trade level. So I would start and be a little bit more conservative on this. Now, if we start to roll over, you do have this gap in the charts right here at $459.39, which would be a good long level. The thing I'm cautioning myself on is this midline. If you're long on Tesla and it breaks this midline of this parallel channel, it is likely to head back down to the lower end and get some support right here, probably around $407, depending on when it gets down there. I think ultimately Tesla is going to start rolling over now that it's recaptured this all-time high. And this is a pretty substantial run to the upside. This isn't just some run-of-the-mill move on Tesla. Look at this move. You had a 56% move to the downside, and now that's over 127% to the upside. That's a pretty astounding move from the lows of April. So I do expect some more of a pullback, but again, 525.07 is that level. I had a couple different levels on Baidu. I'm going to go ahead and go over that chart. I had somebody comment on my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, saying support and resistance, they don't really work. But if you look at our track record on the live day trading room, you can see that that's what we use. We use support and resistance. And for me, if you don't have support and resistance, what factors are you going by? Are you just saying, oh, this looks good because everybody else is long, so I might as well go long, or everybody else is bearish on this, so I'm going to go ahead and short it? But if you don't have those technical levels, then you are actually shooting in the dark, not us. We're just using these as guidelines. Doesn't mean they're going to work out 100% of the time, but they work out about 80% of the time if you line up multiple factors. So why not use them? Anyways, the technicals we're just using the human psychology. Every one of these candles has a little bit of fear and greed inside of them. And so we want to capitalize on that fear and greed inside these candles. All right, Baidu is the stock that I was mentioning. I was saying a couple of days ago, $118.69 is that first level of support. Now that Baidu is catching a bid, my first shortable level, and this is an aggressive level at $125.01. If it starts breaking above that, it could want to get to this $129 level. And then ultimately, for me, I wouldn't short Baidu until it got to this gap fill at $130.07. Although from the lows, this would be about a 5% move. Baidu can really move to the upside if it gets that momentum behind it. So I would be waiting for a move up about 10%, which would take us to $130.07. Lennar is had earnings today. It got as low as $110.11 in the pre-market. So when I'm identifying stocks to go either long or short, I like to look at what happened in the pre-market. And Lennar had gotten down to $110.11, which means that we do have a gap fill a little bit lower that I'm eyeing for a potential day trade, knowing that because it got so close to that in the pre-market, that level isn't going to be as solid as one a little bit lower around $107.46. Even though it's not a gap fill, it would be a double bottom. So if you switch on the pre-market and go to Lennar, you'll notice $110.11. So this first gap fill is an aggressive level at $109.43. But for me, I'm looking to go long on LEN at $107.46. This again would be my day trade long level for Lennar. And then the last thing I want to talk about is silver. Look at this run up in silver. Silver from the lows, just from the 21st of November, silver has gone up 36%. For me, my max upside today is $66.52 per ounce. If it gets up there, I will take a short in the live day trading room. through, and I will short SLV. If it decides it wants to continue higher, I will add every 50 to 75 cents higher on silver. If this upswing trend line on silver does decide to break, I think we're coming down to at least this pivot top or this set of price action right here at $58.83. And then we could get a pullback to $54.25. Right now, there's a lot of momentum in silver. So I'm going to be a little bit more conservative on my ads in this chart. But ultimately, I think that once this trend line breaks, we are going to have a pretty significant rollover in the silver charts. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning at 8:45. And every day the market is open, I will be here live with you guys. Gareth Soloway is going to be going over a bunch of different things in my trading game plan, which starts in less than 5 minutes. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, subscribing, and share with your friends so that way they can get this market action as well. And we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day and take care.